Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a huge thanks to all of you for making the effort to come here today to attend this public meeting for the by-election of Howden and Holton Price. Many of you will have been hearing what David Icke has had to say, both in the past and in the recent couple of weeks, since a great deal of what he's had to say has been supposedly covered in the British press and the British media. We know that that is an absolute farce. Ladies and gentlemen, today, for the first time, you're going to hear from himself exactly what he is saying. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome for Mr. David Icke.
Thank you very much. The situations I get myself into, I'm watching the telly a few days ago and now I'm standing here. It's my life. You know? There's people here from the constituency where this election's taking place, and there's people I know have come from long distances who've been looking at my stuff for a while. So there's a mixture of what's this madman talking about, and people who think, well, maybe it's not quite as mad as you think it is. This event today is going to be videoed, it is videoed at the back there, and it's going out on the internet for free in the next few days, and please send it everywhere you can so we can get this information out. And for people who watch this video around the world, just a quick bit of background. Short while ago, the Member of Parliament for this constituency, called David Davis, who was the Home Affairs spokesman for the opposition Conservative Party, resigned in protest at the Labour government bringing in the Big Brother state. And he's standing for re-election on the issue of Big Brother. That's where I came in. I was going to leave this election alone. I never stood for election before. I never stand for election again. Because it's on the Big Brother issue, I was interested. I was going to leave it alone had the Labour Party, the government party, stood against him. But they chose not to. They said this election was a farce. Now, when you put that through the translation unit, it reads, we'll say it's a farce so we don't have to stand, because if we do stand, we'll get slaughtered because people are sick of this Big Brother state. The third party, the Liberal Democrats, chose not to stand because they said they supported the stand of David Davis. And David Davis was saying he wanted a debate on the gathering Big Brother state in Britain. So I'm sitting there watching the telly, not that much more than a week ago, and I thought, okay, I'll give him a debate, because no one else seemed to be going to do it. So I stood for this election, not wanting to win. Oh my God. The thought of being an MP, I'll go all of a quiver, like, you know. This whole kind of thing goes down my spine. Not least because I don't want to enter that den of iniquity and corruption and mendacity, but also because increasingly, and this is a big part of the Big Brother state, it's irrelevant. 75–80% of the laws now originate in this country from the European Union, and a massive chunk of the rest, they don't even get debated in Parliament. They go in through things called standing orders or devolved powers. They're just introduced. Where does this one come from? Who decided it? Thousands of laws come in every year like that. No debate.
Parliament's irrelevance. Increasingly an irrelevance. But the reason I stood was because over the last nearly 20 years, I've been investigating full-time in now 45 countries an agenda to create, no, not a Big Brother state in Britain, a global Big Brother state in which Britain is part of it. And I wanted to widen the debate in this election from it's just the Labour government, authoritarian and arrogant, bringing in the Big Brother state. If only. And I wanted to point out nearly 20 years of research in book after book after book after book of great detail, source detail, predicting, not because I'm a prophet and I'm sitting in a darkened room smoking some weed, bringing it out of the ether, from hard journalistic research, because that's what I used to be, a journalist that was edited. Now I'm a journalist that not. There's a big difference. Pointing out what the agenda was and how they were going to manipulate, what techniques they were going to use to manipulate this agenda into place. The reason enormous numbers of people worldwide are now coming to my work suddenly over the last few years is very, very simple. What is in these books is now in our daily experience. And I wanted to bring this to this debate that David Davis said he wanted, so we could look at the bigger picture of Big Brother and not just the limited view where we are focusing on the oil rag and missing the engineer. We have not had that debate because he won't have it with me. I tried to go to his public meeting with Geldof, Bob Geldof, the other day. I was turned away at the door by this man. I had a ticket booked. It was all arranged. No problem. It's a public meeting. As long as you had a ticket, I had a ticket. And then this man who, this vision appeared out of the ether, reminding me immediately of a pound of lard with a shirt on, I remember, who has obviously been consuming large amounts of E-numbers, because this man was hyper, and told me suddenly, miraculously, abracadabra, it was now a private event. 30 seconds ago it was a public. What happened there? So I couldn't get in. So that is the background. And I came here, you see, less than a week ago. I came up here to stay last Monday, not to challenge David Davis, but to share information with the people here and him of the bigger picture. I was not saying I'm here to challenge David. I was saying I just wanted some information. If I get 0 votes, I couldn't give a shite. It's of no interest to me who votes for me. It's of interest for me that people have access to information that they're not normally getting, and then they make of it what they will. Fair enough, I'm off. But at least they've heard it. And I was saying, I commend him for standing and all the rest of it. Good of you. Anything gets Big Brother out there, I'm for. After a few days here, in the midst of it, I'm starting to see a different picture. And I'll come to that as we go through. But before that, we've got to have some background information to put that into context. The thing is about this Big Brother state, see, is that it's happening in country after country after country after country. I had a German film crew come see me a few days ago when I was at home. They were going on about the Big Brother state being introduced in Germany. It's happening on an outrageous scale in America, in Canada, in Australia, in Europe. Now, is Gordon Brown, the Labour Prime Minister, responsible for all that? No, of course not. So what and who is? Unless you are a coincidence theorist. I love them. They're sponsored by Naivety Anonymous, by the way. Who believe that this is all happening by accident. Good luck to them. Free country, we hope. Free world, we hope. You're right to your view. But don't tell me it's happening by accident and then tell me there is absolutely no credibility in anyone saying, actually, maybe it's not. Gandhi said, an error does not become truth by reason of multiplied